Good morning. It is finally that time again. I haven't done one of these in ages, but it doesn't feel like ages anyway. It's time to do another fitness fragrance review. Today we are doing a limited edition Lush fragrance called Cinders. It's one I've worn a little while lately, and I wanted to do it today because it is limited edition and it's suited to this time of year, and they're currently still selling it. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this one today. If anyone's not seen my fitness fragrance reviews before, essentially I do a morning workout and I can't wait to do it today. Essentially what I'll do is I'll go for a run. I'll walk to the gym, do a gym workout and walk back, all while wearing this fragrance today. And essentially I'm going to rank it. So it's going to get a score out of 50 by the end. And that's based on 5 categories. I do 2 of them during my run. So we're going to look at price, value for money, and versatility during my run. When I come back, I'm going to talk about the projection, how much I could smell it during my run. I'm going to spray this room, so we'll do a room spray test to see how much it fills the room essentially. Then on the way to the gym, we'll talk about compliment factor, see if I get any compliments at the gym. And then we'll do longevity at the end, where I'll do a little shower test to see how long it survives, all while wearing this fragrance today. So yeah, very much looking forward to giving this one a try. As I said, limited edition. I think this is perfect for this time of year. So yeah, what I'm going to quickly do, it doesn't give you a huge note breakdown, so I'm just going to quickly talk about the fragrance, what you can detect, what is the main theme of this one, and yeah, why am I reviewing it today? Okay, so I'm going to read what this essentially says on the front of it, because they give you a little bit of text normally. It just tells you about the fragrance, and I'll tell you what the sort of 3 main notes are, but I think it says it here anyway. So wait no more for the cosy warmth of autumn. We're now in autumn time, being October. Take the best bits of the season with you and spritz on the go with spicy notes of cinnamon, Brazilian orange, and almond oils. So yeah, they are the 3 main notes. You've got orange, cinnamon, and almond. Now what I love about this is I like quite nutty fragrances, but you don't get many where they're at the heart of the fragrance. This is at the heart of it. This has this marzipan smell. If anyone's ever had like a cherry bakewell, that is what it smells like in the opening. It's this nice cherry bakewell, but the almond is the centerpiece of this. I tend to think nutty fragrances tend to be almond sort of supplements something else. It either smooths something out, just lingers in the background, maybe with a citrus fragrance or something, just to kind of make it more well-rounded. But no, this is where almond literally just is the top note. It shines through and it just smells to me super classy. So I'm expecting it to get quite a good score today. But yeah, I do find my opinion sometimes change on this. But do you detect much of the orange? I get this cherry smell. I just think the almond is so dominant, obviously mixing with that cinnamon. The orange, yeah, you can definitely get this fruitiness. It just has that feeling of the festive season again. And I almost get this like liqueur background. If anyone's tried Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, I feel like it's a sort of more toned down, nuttier version of that. There's no boozy notes according to the website on this, but there's something about it that gives that liqueur vibe. And yeah, I really like it. I do really like it. But it's important to see how it performs overall today. So what I'm going to do, get myself ready, put some socks and shoes on, and yeah, we'll start our workout. Do need to say though, it is still very windy, so I'm going to have to try and talk with the wind behind me. Hopefully it'll work, but I'm desperate to do this one today because it's such a good scent anyway, and we can talk about it a bit more. So yeah, let's get on with it. Wind is sort of half behind me now, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm about 7 miles already. I'm normally not this far into my run, so apologies if I'm struggling. Price / value for money for Lush Cinders. So I think I need to just talk about Lush in general here. So they're charging £30, as you would have just seen for it. Now, to be honest with you, that's the sort of standard price for all their body sprays, even the limited edition ones. And I need to praise Lush for this, because a couple of years ago they did release some limited edition sort of fragrances as well. And literally after about an hour or two, the website crashed, and by the time it came back on, you couldn't get them. They'd completely sold out. And when they brought them back, you think they might up the price, and to be fair to them, they didn't. They kept the same price. And Lush only do one sale a year, and it's always on Boxing Day. And they basically say we don't do many sort of flash sales because we believe in our product. So when there is an actual sale, you're getting a good deal. And I'll tell you what, if you go on that website on Christmas Day, good luck trying to get on it without a queue, because it's so busy. So it's really good. They really believe in their product, and I think with this fragrance, I think you can say the same. So before my run, I mentioned that I couldn't really smell the orange. It's that orange and almond combination that's given that sort of cherry bakewell tart accord, obviously with that cinnamon included as well. And really what I'm saying is this is so well blended. the oils they've used in this are fantastic. They are really, really good. And in recent weeks I've said how sometimes, it feels like some notes are competing against each other rather than in harmony. And these feel like they're working in harmony. They've blended so well. But as I said, it gives this cherry liqueur vibe. And it's classy. I mean, again, I always say, if I was to be blindfolded, I've never smelt this before, what would I price it at? 50 to 60 pound easily. And again, I know I've given some good scores for price and value for money recently. I've got to, again, obviously we'll talk about versatility and stuff here, but I think this is one of their finest. I think this has got a classiness, and sometimes Lush fragrances are a little bit juvenile because they're very gourmandy, but this one actually does have this more well put together vibe to it. So I think for that reason, I've got to give it a really good score again. I don't know what I can mark it down on for that, because again, it sells a lot more expensive. Lush always are very fair with their prices, and even on limited edition ones, they never sort of just say, oh, big sale, say the sale ends tonight, and then there's another one a week later, and you think, oh, I've just been ripped off. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for price and value for money. That's for Lush body sprays really in general, but this one, yeah, it's special. It's limited edition. It's perfect for this autumn time, and yeah, it's just quality. So yeah, on to versatility now. To versatility. So how much can you dress this one down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, I think the first thing we'd say is Lush tends to lean more feminine. I think we'd say their products, you think of it more as a women's shop. However, I think this is brilliant because I think this is definitely 100% unisex. And I say that for a few reasons. Look at the notes: orange, cinnamon, almond. 3 notes that are used in both men's and women's fragrances in equal measure, really. And it leans into that sort of sweet, but also that sort of citrus accord as well. And I think this is best for that sort of transition seasons again, so autumn, spring and winter. It's definitely more of a cold weather scent, but it's got a sweetness and a slight little freshness about it. That marzipan vibe is super strong in this. And to be honest, I'd say it's one of their more grown up ones. If you've tried like the Comforter or Dirty or Sticky Dates, they're quite youthful and they're quite juvenile and they're very realistic. Like, I mean, even Let the Good Times Roll, it's like a buttery popcorn smell. They almost just smell foodie. This one's got that complexity about it, where you could definitely wear a suit, because it's got that classiness of the cinnamon and the almond. I love that nuttiness. It's got that liqueur vibe, which makes you feel like you could wear a suit with it. But it's also very approachable, very wearable, not heavy. Sometimes cinnamon can be super spicy, too heavy. This one's not. I'd say that's the sort of note I think blends into the background. I don't think it's juvenile. I'd say anyone 20 and up, and you're going into your 60s. My dad wears this one, and he's nearly 60 and he's happy to wear it. He doesn't see it as too daring or anything like that. And, it gets compliments from people who are a little bit younger as well. I'm nearly 30. I think anyone who likes fragrances, I don't think you need to be an expert with this. I think you'll like it. I don't think anyone's going to really hate this one. It might just feel for a beginner though. And again, I'm not saying it couldn't be an entry level fragrance for someone who likes fragrances. But yeah, it does feel like someone who is really into their fragrances will appreciate this one a little bit more. Some people might just want that more simplistic fragrance to start with, but signature scent worthy, absolutely fine. The only time I wouldn't really wear it is on a hot summer day, but it's not heavy, it's not cloying in my opinion. So it does a lot of jobs. You could wear it to the office, again you could wear it for a night out, a day out with friends on a cool morning like today running. It's very, very pleasant. So versatility again is pretty good. Not a gym scent, I think it's classier than that. And as I said, I don't normally think of calling Lush fragrances classy. But yeah, this one is, and I don't mind the fact it's a 200ml bottle because the atomizer, you can spray a lot of this. So yeah, it's really, really nice. So versatility then, you can dress up, dress down, unisex, pretty versatile across the ages and experience in fragrances. 9.5 out of 10. It's a good start for Cinders, isn't it? Anyway, 8 miles done now, 5 to go. I'm ready for my coffee. So run all done, 13 miles, I've managed it. To be fair, I felt pretty good considering I didn't get home till about 10 o'clock last night. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to spray sort of, let's do 10 times in here. So we're going to do the room filler test now for projection. You haven't seen this before. Essentially what I'll do now, I'll go down for a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and then 10 minutes time I'll come up and see how much the fragrance has filled the room. Obviously I sprayed on myself before my run, so I'll mention during my time having a cup of tea and an apple if I could really smell this, or did it not really project as much as I thought. Green tea. I do like it, very refreshing. Anyway, so how was the projection during my run with Lush Cinders? To be honest, not great. I have to say, it's one of those fragrances again, and I'll explain my theory in a minute. But the only time I noticed it, funny enough, was actually at the end, because what happened is I tripped over a tree root, and I was like hanging on the floor like this. Thankfully, I didn't go hands down, but I very nearly did. And that was the only time I noticed it. It's probably where my nose was close to my coat. But I didn't really notice it, considering the breeze, and even when I stopped to stretch, I didn't notice it at all, which is quite surprising. But my theory is, and if you see my sort of fitness fragrance reviews lately, I've done reviews of Fico di Amalfi by Eau de Parfum, which is a fig fragrance, and Rhubarbe Écarlate by Hermes. And they're fruity fragrances, and a little bit like Lush Cinders. They're really strong in the opening, but they're also notes that you wouldn't normally expect to be dominant. So rhubarbe, fig, and in this one, almond. And all three of them are really realistic. They're not synthetic at all, so I think they're using really high quality oils. And I just think those fragrance notes maybe just don't last as long. So you may just get that initial blast, that really nice sort of hour of that scent. But because they're not those heavy, like leather, smoky, wood sort of notes that you'd normally expect to be in those heavier winter fragrances, boozy ones as well, yeah, maybe that's why they don't last as long. But I still think it smells absolutely lovely, and that opening is super strong. It's just, I think maybe after that time, maybe being in the wind today, it just completely blew it away. I think if it was the cinnamon that was the top sort of dominant note in this, it would have lasted a lot longer. However, I'm very glad it's the almond that is the top one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish my cup of tea, head upstairs in a minute, and we'll just see if the projection, if it's filled the room, hopefully not too bad. As I said, the opening is quite strong on this, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how long it lasts. Right, let's get on with it. Ooh. I tell you what, just coming into my room, that is super strong. Sorry, I've got green tea all down my chin. That's a lot more filling the room than I expected. I thought, to be honest, this was going to be very, very faint, but that's about 75%. I'm quite surprised. As I said, I do think there's a really strong initial blast with this. So, of course, I don't know how long this would sort of smell in about an hour, but if you sprayed this and you've come into work or come into an office or just like a small room, people are noticing that. If someone came into my room now, they go, oh, it smells really nice in here. It smells like marzipan. That's really nice. Yeah, this is, again, I think one of those fragrances, a super, super opening, really good, but it just falls off a cliff straight away. But I'm really impressed with that. That surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be quite that strong. I thought you get, like I said, initial blast, but not so much like that. Now, it wasn't great on my run, but it's exceeded my expectations with this. So I'm going to give projection because I think this will 100% get compliments. You get 200ml bottle with this as well, and then the atomizer sprays super big in these Lush body sprays. I'm going to give it a 7.5. That's not bad. As I said, I'm really glad that the almond is the dominant note here, and I don't want it to be seen as a bad thing for projection, because projection here isn't poor. It's not, poor at all. You use this fragrance, you take it to work and reapply it, you're going to get multiple compliments in the day, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why I've got to give it a pretty good score. 7.5, not bad at all. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to spray my arms quickly now, because we'll do longevity. It'll be about 3 hours before I smell my arm again. And yeah, we're just going to talk about compliment factor on my way to the gym. So yeah, time to get ready. 5 sprays on each arm. I love these body sprays. The mist on them is huge. So you're very glad they are 200ml. You can't get them any other sizes, but I think if you can get the perfume version of this, you'll be able to get like 30 and 100ml. So yeah, definitely worth checking on Lush's website, because they're always bringing out new stuff. Quite spirits with compliments. Well, I've only had it since August myself personally, but my brother used to wear it to work actually, and he definitely had a couple of compliments on it before. And when I first sort of smelt it, you know, he bought about 3 or 4 at the time. He was treating himself. That was my favourite of the lot. I really liked it. He got yuzu and cocoa in that one as well, but this was definitely my favourite one, and that's why I bought it ultimately. And when I've sprayed it, you know, and asked my parents which one's their favourite, this one tends to be sort of 3rd and 4th on the list out of, I think we've probably tried about 16, 17 body sprays because they're such a good price, the Lush ones. And yeah, I just think it will get you confidence. I think Gourmand fragrances are brilliant, and this one, as I said, it's not super strong. It's quite versatile, you know, male and female appropriate, and it's suitable for transition seasons. Yeah, it's not a gym scent or anything like that, but if you want that kind of more, you know, wintry signature scent, cooler weather signature scent sort of fragrance, this is going to do it. And it's not harsh. As I said, cinnamon could be a harsh note, but this one is all about that sort of nuttiness. And yeah, I just think it's really nice. I think with the body sprays, because you can spray quite a lot because there's quite a strong mist in it, people are going to notice it. And yeah, it's not going to be cloying. I don't think this has got that cloying feeling to it, and that might just be that orange that brings that freshness. So I'd be very surprised, to be honest, if I didn't get compliments wearing this, and hopefully I'll get one at the gym today. The only thing is, obviously, it's not that sort of typical blue fragrance that people like for compliments, but like I said, it's pretty safe, this, I think. I don't think you can hate it even if you never loved it. I'm definitely more on the love though for this one. I think it's got that complexity that you certainly could love it as well. So what would I give it as a score? It's suitable across the ages. I think, yeah, I think you can use it in so many different occasions that people will notice it. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. The only thing that may stop you from getting compliments is, again, it doesn't really project really strong. So again, as long as you're aware of what situation you want to wear it in, whether that's in like a, you know, more enclosed space, that's when people will notice it. If you're in a big sort of hall or cinema or something like that, a big hall, you know, just essentially a room or outside, you may not get them. So that's the only thing I'm really marking it down on. But of course, if I get it at the gym, any compliments at the gym today, it'll go up to a 10. Let's get there. So workout done, no compliments, but although it's slightly faded, the fragrance is definitely still on there. But of course, I can't give a score on longevity until we've done one thing, the shower test. So yeah, let's go and have a shower. Look at all the dirt on my glasses, they're filthy. Look at that. Is that the weakest shower in the world? Basically midday now, 30,000 steps, but it's most importantly, can I still smell the fragrance 3 hours later? Yes, but we're talking about sort of 20 to 25% tops. It's not really strong. It's kind of what I expected based on how much I could smell it in terms of projection earlier, but it is still there, that sort of marzipan smell. So I'm not too disappointed with that. Again, I've done quite a long workout this morning. I've had long sleeves on. And you know, there's been a lot of different conditions today. Hot in the gym, cold outside, windy. So, you know, and obviously I've had a shower. So that's not bad at all. I reckon you probably get about sort of 3 to 4 hours out of this before you might think I want to reapply. So half a day. Obviously it's still not really cold. We're not in that really icy winter time. So I reckon you probably could get a sort of 6-7 hours out of this in the future, you know, and you're not going to smell, it's going to stop you from smelling. You're going to get compliments in that first 2 hours, I still think, as well. It's going to kick off enough to be noticed, that's for sure. So not too bad. So what would I give it then as a score? I'd want a little bit more, just based on what I'd expected from Lush before, to be honest. Lush has got some really strong ones, Sticky Dates, Karma, Lord of Mistral's pretty strong. Literally most of them are pretty strong. So I'm going to say, just because it is a bit more of a winter one as well, you'd want more. 6.5. It's not bad, but yeah, I think for this, again, I've said this before, sometimes I think I'm saying it as a compliment to it. It smells so good, I just wish it kicked off a bit more. But maybe, as I said, with nutty dominant fragrances. Maybe that's not possible, but it's certainly not bad. I've had a lot worse. Anyway, time to head back, have something to eat, and we'll count up all the scores. We are home. So, how many steps have I done so far today? 36,507 steps, probably about 18 miles, all while wearing this fragrance. So, what was the score it got today, Lush Cinders? 42.5 out of 50. That's a fantastic score, isn't it? And to be honest with you, I don't really know what I can say other than it's just a great fragrance for a great price. £30 for this. Superb. To be honest with you, my only disappointment is it's a limited edition thing, so you probably don't get it all year. But this reminds me very much of that holiday season, so that's absolutely fine. That's why I'm glad it's around at this time of year. It just reminds me of so many different things, whether it's a sort of cherry bake or tart, whether it's like a Christmas pudding with like those sort of apricot sultanas in, that sort of dried spicy sort of smell, marzipan, just all those sort of things that just make this a great fragrance. And again, what I like about it is you do get some sort of quite juvenile ones and quite gourmandy ones from Lush. They very much smell like food, and like one like Mr. Wallet, for example, it's just this like minty spearmint toothpaste smell, whereas this just smells like a real quality fragrance, something that could be in an actual fragrance bottle rather than this sort of plasticky toilet spray sort of look. It's a great fragrance. It's really good, and I really recommend that you can try it if you get the opportunity to try it. I personally think it's actually safe enough to blind buy because I don't think you'll ever hate this. I think fragrances in those transition seasons are a little bit easier to wear, and that's why it's got good scores down versatility, and value for money, all those things. I just think it's brilliant. I really don't know what else to add. 42 out of 50 shows how highly I think of it. I think the only reason it's gone down a little bit today is, again, it just doesn't actually last as long as you think. But I just think maybe that's because the almond being the sort of dominant note maybe just isn't a strong note. Let's be honest. When we think of sort of fragrances, if it was coffee and almond, it'd be the coffee that sort of comes through, and the almond would be that sort of extra sort of nuance to the fragrance. So to try and put a nutty fragrance as the dominant note, I think it's pretty good going, and I really appreciate that effort that Lush have done. Completely unisex, old, young, grown up. It's great, and I hope it's on your sort of autumn fall list. Yeah, for this year, because I can't speak highly enough about it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. In terms of plans for this week, again, plenty more fragrance videos. I'm going to do another live dart stream at some point as well. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my fragrance. And when you see this, I'll be doing my fragrance film recording because the weather looks quite nice and still tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to doing it. I've got a few plans in mind, so I need to keep planning. So I better get on with that now. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.